All right, how about this? The main console will shut down the carts properly when they're close to the console, but not when they're further away. Now, that means you probably need to replace the main antenna on the console with a new one. How about this? One function works, but another does not. Well, that problem is most likely internal, so you should be arranging to return the unit for repairs. All right, what about things that can go wrong with your pit control transmitter? Problem number one, it doesn't work. It won't shut the carts down. Well, make sure the main console is operating properly before you troubleshoot the pit control transmitter. If that's okay, turn on the pit control transmitter from the main console. Walk over to the pit control transmitter and listen for the little chirping sound. It normally makes this sound. If it's not chirping, look for a broken wire leading from the main console. Now, a lot of times the landscapers, getting a little zealous, making those flowers look pretty, accidentally cut the wires going from the main console to the pit control transmitter. This is another good reason for putting conduit around your wire. Now, if you don't find any visual problems with the wire, the next thing you do is test the pit control transmitter for power. Got to have a voltage tester for that. The wires to test are the black and the white ones attached to the pit control transmitter. If you have power but still don't hear any chirping, probably should send the unit in for repair. If you find out you don't have power, now the problem can either be with the main console or with a non-visible break in the wire between your main console and the pit transmitter. If you do hear chirping and the pit control transmitter is not working, inspect the antenna itself going from the pit transmitter to the track. Maybe the antenna is broken. Also, inspect the antenna plug-in for rust or corrosion. And if all else fails, send it in. Now, what if the handheld unit doesn't work? Well, there's really only one thing to check, and that's if the battery needs replacing. It's a 9-volt. Go ahead and replace it. The battery is the only serviceable part of this unit. So if you change the battery and it still doesn't work, you must send the unit in for repair. Now, this handheld is delicate and an expensive piece of electronic equipment, so don't allow employees to mistreat it. Tell the attendants that it should always be handled with caution. This is the unit of the shutdown system most often sent in for repair because somebody mistreated it. Now let's talk about the unit on the cart itself. What if the cart unit doesn't work? Other carts are responding to the system, but you got a bad egg here. Well, take the spare cart receiver and plug it in place of the bad unit and test it. If the cart responds properly, return the non-functioning cart unit for repair. But if the problem persists, it's probably not the cart unit. The problem is probably within the cable or the motor. So inspect the cable for broken wires or bad connections, and inspect the cable leading from the stop switch to the coil. How about if the cart works when you hit the all-stop button, but it won't crawl? Well, make sure the speed disc and the sensor are clean and properly aligned. The speed sensor should be no more than an 1/8 inch away from the disc. Now, if everything's clean and aligned and the unit still doesn't work, replace the speed sensor. You might also try installing a known functioning cart unit. And if the problem keeps showing up, send the cart unit in for repair. Now, how about this one? You hit the red button, the cart stops. You hit the yellow button and it crawls. But when you hit the green button, it won't reset to go. Well, this is a problem you cannot fix by yourself. And this is also why you have a spare cart unit. Go ahead and switch them out. You keep your cart out working and send the offending unit in for repairs. Now listen up if you have servo models. Here are a couple of special issues you might run into. If the servo doesn't function in all stop or all crawl, check the wire connections at the servo unit. Take a spare servo unit, plug it in, and test it in place of the questionable unit. And if the problem keeps coming back, check the power output at the lighting coil. You can find out how to do that in your Honda manual. If the problem is not discovered in those areas, then send the cart unit in for repair. How about if the all stop function works but all crawl does not? Well, make sure the speed disc and the sensor are clean and properly aligned. The speed sensor should be no more than 1/8 inch distance from the disc. If everything is clean and aligned and the unit still doesn't function, replace the speed sensor. And if the problem keeps coming back, you know what to do. Send the unit in for repair. Well, it's time to pack up the old paddock for today. I'm Bob Wheeler, your safety buddy. Thanks for taking the time to listen to the 411 on shutdown systems. Hope it works for you, because remember, a safe track is a happy track. And don't forget, we're there for you all the time on the web, 24/7. Just click on in at jjamusements.com. I'll see you there.